are on the eve of the 2018 Los Angeles Auto Show, where Honda is kicking off things with a bang with the all-new 2019 Honda Passport. If you guys remember, the Passport is a nameplate that we haven't seen for over 20 years. And here it is in all its glory. It's basically a shortened version of the Honda Pilot SUV. Let's take a first look. So normally when I do these walkarounds, I typically show the front of the vehicle. However, the rear of the new Passport is really where you guys are probably more interested to see. This is the biggest changes to the Pilot because this vehicle is what Honda says about 6 inches shorter overall. You can see the design has a lot of styling cues from the Pilot. Honda says it's got LED combination rear taillights. I see a lot of Ford Explorer in the rear end, but I also see what Honda's doing here. They're trying to make it a little bit more sportier, a little bit more premium. You have these nice, really well-integrated dual exhaust chrome tips with these well-integrated parking sensors and the cargo area. Remember, this car competes with vehicles like the Jeep Grand Cherokee, the Toyota 4Runner, the Ford Edge, and Honda says that the rear cargo area is actually the best in the segment. With the seats up, with the second row seats up, you're looking at a little over 41 cubic feet of space. Now, they didn't have full numbers when you fold down those second row seats. However, you can see it provides a pretty flat floor, and unlike the Pilot, you don't have a third row seat in here, so Honda basically gave you a little bit more cargo space and a little bit more versatility in that end for buyers who don't want that third row. Now, just like the new RDX that I showed you, Honda includes like this little clever storage bin underneath here, which also includes a temporary spare tire, which is definitely nice, very rare in this segment, as a lot of manufacturers have been getting rid of these spare tires. Now, speaking of which, this particular one that I'm showing you is the Elite trim. It's the top of the stack. Honda offers it in 4 different trims, from Sport, EXL, Touring, and Elite, which is unlike the Pilot, which offers a base trim. Now, one thing you're really gonna like about the new Passport is it does offer 20-inch wheels as standard equipment. This Elite version has these black finish wheels, which are wrapped in 20mm wider tires. They're 265 versus 245s you get in the standard model. Now, from the rest of the side profile, you can really see how much shorter this is. It doesn't have the minivan-like proportions of the Pilot, which is nice. Its wheelbase remains the same, however, at around 109 inches long. Honda said they just shortened it overall by about 6 inches versus the Pilot. Now, another thing they also did is they did improve the track of this vehicle to give it a wider, more aggressive stance, and they also improved the ground clearance by about 1 inch on all-wheel drive models. So if you're looking at the numbers, this is almost 9 inches of overall ground clearance when you compare it to the Honda Pilot. Now, coming over here to the front of the vehicle, you can see the design is very similar to the current Pilot. It does have its own unique grille. If you guys go for the upper trim, you'll have the new LED running lights and LED headlights that you get on the new Pilot that I've shown you with the multi-reflector. You have LED fog lights here at the lower fascia. And then this one has kind of like a blacked out treatment here with the well-integrated adaptive cruise sensor, which, by the way, Honda says their Honda Sensing is actually standard equipment on this vehicle, which is definitely going to be a huge selling point for a lot of buyers. So under the hood of the new Passport, those of you who are thinking Honda would go with a Turbo 4, I'm sorry to disappoint. They actually decided to go with the Pilot's 3.5-liter V6 engine with their Earthstream technology. It's got direct injection, it's got iVTEC, it's a single overhead cam V6, and the numbers are the same as the Pilot, 280 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque. Now, one thing that did surprise me is this is still paired with the 9-speed automatic from the 2019 Pilot that I did show you guys, which has been updated with hardware and software upgrades. When I asked Honda why didn't they put the 10-speed, somebody told me that it didn't fit, is basically what they said. They did promise that the 9-speed has been widely upgraded. Now, you can take your pick between either front-wheel drive or their iVTM4 torque management 4-wheel drive system, which is all-wheel drive. It's kind of similar to Acura's super handling all-wheel drive. Of course, fuel economy is not yet available. They did, however, say that this vehicle will tow 3,500 pounds standard, and if you guys get the tow package, it'll tow up to 5,000 pounds. So that's very impressive numbers, especially if you guys are looking to actually use this vehicle as a utility vehicle. Now, with almost 9 inches of ground clearance, this should be a relatively capable vehicle off-road, and Honda says because it's shorter overall, it definitely will perform a lot better. So I will be driving this vehicle in Utah in January for the media drive, so stay tuned for full driving impressions and fuel economy and specs at a later date. So on the inside of the new Honda Passport, again, you're going to see a lot of its Honda Pilot roots in this vehicle. It's practically identical to the 2019 model that I showed you guys. The dashboard design is the same. You get the Honda Link infotainment system with the 8-inch display. You get this on EXL trims and up, which includes Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, is what Honda says. The steering wheel is also the new steering wheel. It's the same steering wheel off the Odyssey, same with the gauges off the 2019 Pilot. Now, in terms of the materials, you have a soft touch dash material here with that the faux stitching over there. You have the panel black plastic. You have the soft touch materials there. This one here, being the Elite trim, does come come with the heated and cooled seats, which is nice. You have just a standard size sunroof, no pano sunroof, but if you guys are looking for a lot of tech features, you do have wireless charging, you have USB ports all over this vehicle, you have a lot of storage in here. So you get basically the utility of the Pilot, but not so much its minivan looks. The view is also nice and commanding, so you do feel like you're sitting up a little bit higher, but let's hop into the second row and see how Honda was able to preserve that when they shortened this vehicle. So the second row of the Passport, you can see, is pretty much identical to the Pilot that I last sat in. Honda, for the most part, was able to preserve the space. The floor is completely flat here, so you can easily fit 3 people across. I'm seeing heated rear seats here. I'm seeing your own set of rear seat climate controls, two USB ports, a power outlet, and then you have 2 map pockets here, a nice little armrest that folds down, and then the seats themselves, look at that, they adjust forward and back, they recline. So those of you who were thinking a CR-V was a little too small, but a Pilot was a little too big, this one definitely has your name written all over it. So in the last year, Honda says their light truck sales have totaled over 700,000 units, which is basically up significantly, and you can credit that to America's huge, insatiable appetite for crossovers. So it's no surprise to me that they would introduce basically a smaller version of the Honda Pilot. And from the look of it at this first look, I'm really impressed with the looks. I think it definitely has the nice shorter overhangs that the Pilot definitely needs. It has less of a minivan appeal to it, and I think when it finally hits dealer showrooms, a lot of buyers are going to be flocking toward it. Now, speaking of which, Honda says it'll be available at your local dealership in February of 2018. Remember this, or 2019. Remember, this will be a 2019 model, not a 2020 model. And Honda didn't have final pricing yet, but they did specify that pricing would skew closer to Pilot. So remember, Pilot starts at around $30,000, CR-V is around $25,000. This one, because it doesn't have a base LX trim, I would probably estimate a sport version will come in around $28,000, $29,000, depending on which trim level you guys decide to get. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this quick little Redline first look on the eve of the 2018 Los Angeles Auto Show. If you guys are also looking to see the latest cars I'm testing, make sure you follow me on Instagram at Redline_reviews, like us on Facebook. And as always, guys, please keep subscribing to the Redline Reviews YouTube channel for all the latest reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.